So when we find that we probably have still this psychology of inferiority and superiority, that means it's difficult to become completely free from that. What can we do to transcend it? What can we do to transcend it? We can not just improve it, we have to transcend it. So one thing that we can do, I wrote here, from carbonic to non-carbonic. We have to reduce the type of carbonic food that we take in. And we have to increase the type of non-carbonic food that we take in. And so we should practice consciously something that transforms our sense of identity. If we identify ourselves with if the importance of our life, the fulfillment of our life comes from the objects of the world, that is because we have not tasted a greater bliss to make us feel that these objects of the world are just small things, are just like little toys compared to what wealth we have within. But in order to find that inner wealth, we have to do something to gradually transform our sense of identity. There is that very well-known story. I think I've heard it in different cultures of the world. The story of that lion, of that lion cub, that was ended up adopted by a herd of sheep, and not having any lion around it, it learned to behave like the sheep and to utter the sounds of sheep, to bleat instead of roar, and thought itself a sheep. And one day, when it went to drink some water and was there near on the edge of the pond, it saw its reflection on the water and realized that it was not a sheep, that it was different from the others. But what to do? Now only "bah" was coming out of his mouth. So what to do? And slowly it had to change. The realization has to come that we are different from what we have, from the image we have constructed of ourselves, from the image that culture, society, upbringing, education have imposed on us. That we are not just that. Perhaps we're even very, very different from that. But surely what has been imposed on us, if it has denied our consciousness and the spirit that is within us, that indomitable spirit that is within us, with all its faculties, with all its glory, if we are not that, then we can say that what has been imposed on us is very different from what we really truly are. And we need to free ourselves from that. So, constantly transform, train, educate the mind. We have to re-educate the mind. It has become educated in one way, to think itself powerless, to think itself limited. Well, if it has been educated in that way, it can also be educated in another way. If it could take that, if he could learn that one, why can he not learn also the opposite? It can, surely. We have to now do something about it. So, okay, we say meditation, meditation, but not only meditation, sitting, regularly once or twice a day or however many times. It's like a constant recreation, a constant effort to bring forth that neglected part of us which has been denied. Bring it forth again. Not only when you do meditation, but when you act in your daily life. And that's why for those who have the learned meditation with Ananda Marga practices, the first and the second lesson are of immense importance exactly for this reason. The first teaches you to identify yourself with that infinite entity. And the second teaches you to embrace all in the external world as that infinite entity. So then in this way we are re-educating our mind. We are correcting the flaws and mistakes and distortions that have been created over a long period of time. And we can do that. Another thing to, yes, I said, feed your mind with subtle things, with non-carbonic pabulum, non-carbonic food, because that leads to expansion and liberation. That ignites the spark of natural inspiration that later, when it is set in motion, it continues. Just like the movement from mind towards matter becomes perpetual, and it continues. Once you set it in motion and you dwell on it, the other one also continues when you set it in motion and dwell on it. So that will be the main trend of your mind. Your mind will move. You change the flow, you change the course of the river. You direct it towards consciousness. And one important thing to say is that our desires for physical things are due to our sanskaras, the things that the unfulfilled desires that we carry within us propel our mind to find fulfillment. If for a long time we had a desire for an external thing, and life did not fulfill it, and now we are busy in another, with other mental activities, with other physical occupations, and we don't even think so much about it, don't even remember it. But in the deeper layers of mind, that still exists, that momentum that was once released. That was a desire, there was a seed of desire, and it did not find the fulfillment. That still exists. And that seed of desire, that wave of the momentum, guides the mind and guides us leads us, I should say, rather than guide, leads us to where we will find the fulfillment of that.